Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack Go.
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access post-game show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We got Tim in Green Bay to talk about this tough loss to the Denver Broncos on the road, 34-26. Man, this was a wild game. I actually enjoyed this game outside of all the injuries. It sucks that the injuries they kind of scream to the forefront, if you will. And we'll dive into all the details. We'll get you guys the box score. We'll obviously give you the playoff picture update, all that stuff. We'll have to talk about the negative aspect of all of the injuries. Obviously, it's showing a clip right here of Patrick Surtain coming over and shaking Micah Parsons' hand there as he was helped off the field. So much we can cover here. Let's start with the key ingredients that we always kind of dive into. Middle eight, Green Bay dominated 17-7. You're looking really good at this point. Second half, it was the tale of two halves. It really was. Denver ends up winning the turnover differential 2-1, and the defensive adjustments that Vance Joseph made in that second half, man, you got to tip your cap. And again, I don't want to sit here and say we lost this game because of all the injuries. You can't ignore it, but I also want to be very, very clear in my opinion. You guys may disagree. Denver Broncos got a hell of a football team, man. Bo Nix is scrappy. As I was watching them in the second half, you know what I thought of? Being completely honest, this kind of feels like the 2010 Packers. Him scrambling around like Aaron did, making plays, off tilt throw, just making something out of nothing. The defense playing like the top defense in the league, just like the Packers had the number one defense in the league. So the moral of the story, you were down. I sent you guys these lists here. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong here. Obviously, you're already down Tucker Kraft, Devontae Wyatt, your starting center, Elton Jenkins, and then you end up losing Zach Tom, right? Have we heard anything on that, boys? Anything at all? Is it just me, or did that? I don't want to speculate too much, but that kind of looked like a nasty knee injury, right? Do y'all agree with that? Or yeah, okay.
He was standing up last time I saw him, and then was on the ground playing. I mean, he was kind of blocking the dude, but
yeah,
didn't look great.
So you lose Zach Tom, you lose your number one receiver in Christian Watson, who's been on an absolute heater. You've seen the offense really change in the second half. It's easy to look up and go, man, we struggled in the second half. Yeah, we were without Christian, and obviously that deep threat, they were able to clamp down a little bit more. And then, of course, Micah Parsons going out with what appears to be a devastating knee injury. We'll see when we get the exact details of that. I think we all think we know what it is, but sucks. And listen, that's the downside to when you go all in and you put a lot of money on a player. That's the downside, And I'm not saying we shouldn't have done it. You guys know I'm on board with him. Still on board. I think it's the right move.
Right.
But when you go all in on a player like that, and they go down with an injury, man, it's really, really unfortunate. It is.
It just shines a big, huge spotlight on it. Is what it does, Clay, and it just sort of brings everything to light, backlights it, spotlights it, whatever you want to do, man. And that's just the worst part about it.
And King Tron, we see your super chats, buddy. Appreciate you. We're going to hit those. I'm going to go around the horn here once and let the guys kind of give their opinion. I don't care. Whoever wants to go first is good with me. You guys go right ahead. What's your initial thoughts on this 34-26 loss to I think they're the number one seed there in the AFC with the Patriots losing today?
Yeah, good game. It just tough. It was a good game, like you said, all the way up and until the end of it, right? A couple of injuries that were tough that are really going to sort of shape the season, but it's something that, you have to deal with. Obviously, it's always next man up, but like we've talked about, high profile, Micah, Zach Tom, all those things are just tough way to stack on top of a loss. But we knew we were going up against basically the number one defense, super strong team. They were 11-2 for a reason. Yeah, they won some close games, but it was, whatever the record is who they are. So it was a tough game, but man, injuries were the worst part of it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tim, what's your initial thoughts, buddy?
Man, we need an O-line. we need an O-line, guys. They looked okay early in the game, it seemed like, but just couldn't they were just overwhelmed by that defensive front. And it got to the point there towards the end. I was really starting to get worried about Jordan back there. All the injuries that we've already sustained in this ball game, and now you got QB1 out there trying to play hero ball at the end, trying to find a way to will us into the end zone. I mean, that was a little dangerous. But yeah, not pleased with the way the O-line played today. I think that was probably one of the worst performances we've seen this year. Just some undisciplined football, particularly Rasheed Walker, a lot of penalties, needless penalties that really hurt us. A couple that were probably debatable, but but just a tough loss for this team. It's easy to feel gutted. I feel just as gutted as anyone else. It's devastating when you lose, top caliber talent on your team one by one in a ball game. But there's 53 on this roster for a reason, and our season isn't over until it's over. So I don't want to hear any of the negative nonsense. We still get to put belt to ass in Chicago next week on national TV for everyone to see. So, am I worried? Sure, obviously. Am I concerned? Obviously. But I believe in this team. So it's not over till it's over, guys.
All right. Tim, bringing the positivity that I need tonight. King Tron with the first super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, number 1, that's Micah. Number 9, that's Christian. Number 50, that's Zach Tom. Number 11, that's Jaden Reed. Number 8, that's Josh Jacobs. We didn't even talk about Josh Jacobs. I mean, that dude, he looked like he was doing everything he could to try to stay on the football field. He's battling a swelling in that knee, and what a great game he had. I mean, he had 12 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown. He ended up having 2 catches for 19 yards and that awesome touchdown catch. You got to tip your cap to number 8, man. What a leader he is, and obviously trying to stay out there. And then, of course, number 7 left. I thought he had a concussion. I thought Quay had a concussion, and he ends up back on the field. So that was good.
I think it was back. I think it was back injury when he made a tackle. It looked like lower back or something, and then he came back out. So Quay probably playing through some pain too, right?
Yeah, and to add to that, Evan Williams too. He went out. I didn't
even realize that. Yeah, you said Zane was in, right? He
was ending in at 47 snaps, so he missed about 20 snaps or so of the total snaps. They said that they were pointing at his knee. So I don't know.
Damn, really? Oh, okay. So yeah, all sustained from some sort of an injury or aggravation today. 4 dropped interceptions.
That was brutal.
We talked about it was Carrington and Xavier McKinney with 2 dropped each. Is that right? I'm thinking right. Was it Carrington?
I don't know if that second one for X should count as a drop, because I think he just, he came across the field and got his hand in there. It was just a clean PBU. I don't know how much of a chance.
Oh, when he punched it, Tim?
Yeah, when he punched it. I don't know if he's picking that off anyway, so I don't know if I count that as a drop.
Got it. Yeah.
But still, I know we had a chance there to flip it for sure. You get the fumble early, which is nice, right? But we only get 3 out of it, which is fine. You got to get points out of that. It's better than no points. But yeah, those hit you in the hands a couple of times. We need one of those. Yeah.
And he went on to say, can't win with our best players in the locker room. I think it's very well said, Tron. I think it's a very reasonable take, man. You got, like I said, a number of backups out there trying to win a game against arguably the best defense in the league and a great up-and-coming young quarterback, I would say. King Tron goes on with another super chat. Thank you, Tron. He says, I'm sorry for so much negativity, everyone. It just feels like someone kicked my dog. I'm madder than hell right now. I love how he said that, too. See, he's speaking my language. I'm madder than hell right now. We can still win, just need to be tip-top. So thank you for the super. Tron, I don't think you're being negative, man. You're just speaking truth there, dude, Yep. That's it is what it is. Celestial Prophet with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, I'm smoking the devil's lettuce tonight, boys. Hey, you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do there, Prophet.
I'm not going to lie. I was faded. I ain't going to lie. I was faded. Like,
nothing else to say. Jaden Reed handled it for us. All right, thank you, Prophet. Appreciate you, buddy. Donovan Schilling been a member for 18 months. He said Evan Williams was out with a knee too. So that's what you were talking about, right, Amelia? That's the first I heard of it. Again, it was just I felt like I was standing in the living room watching the game for the most part and holding a clipboard trying to chart, and it felt like the walls just getting closer and closer to me as every person kept leaving the game. But just a tough one there. But appreciate you being a member there, Donovan. You the man. Chuck Jagger says too much arm tackling.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Let me hit these super chats. I'm going to keep that marked. Y'all don't let me forget when we finish the super chats. I'm going to come back to that because I agree with that take, Chuck. I do, man. Godsmack with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Says, well, we had a defense. Valentine's lack of tackling is becoming a major issue. I would agree with that. I think it is definitely his weak spot. Injuries are starting to ruin the NFL product. Yeah, just a devastating turd sandwich of epic proportions. What the flying F? So, anything you guys want to add there? Maybe the Carrington talk there, because he got beat over the top. Was it Sutton that beat him over the top down the sideline? But man, what a throw by Bo Nix. Am I wrong there? I mean, he just put it on the money. You know what play I'm talking about? I think that was in the second half, just a dime piece on the left sideline.
Yeah, that little soft fade there where he kind of, maybe it wasn't just fade working to the outside. It was fourth and 1 or something, and Carrington got you got to hold the inside leverage there, obviously, because why would you got to stop the quick slant over the deep ball. You got a safety over the top. Good spot for the ball to be placed, and you just couldn't get on top of him. Carrington knew it.
And that was the play with the bad challenge. Am I thinking right, Emilio?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one you were happy about.
You guys know I am a huge Matt LaFleur fan. I think he's the real deal. This does not change anything about how I feel about Matt LaFleur, but that challenge was horrendous. That was am I wrong here? Because maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. I watched that replay back, and I'm like, who the hell told him to throw that challenge flag? And if nobody did, is he on the devil's lettuce? Because I didn't see anything that made me think, yeah, no, that's incomplete. Because again, that timeout's huge. Am I right?
Right.
Coming down the stretch. And also, it's not like one of those plays too where you can challenge on a second or a third down. It's almost okay if we don't get it. It's like we use a timeout. We can kind of reset, get the right play call. This was after a fourth down, right?
Right. So, yeah, I think he was hoping for a quick flip. You know what I mean? Instead of them being on the 12 or whatever it was, I'll take the ball. Offense out there and go. But yeah, you're right. If they got any sort of look at that, they probably shouldn't have let them do it. And I think it wasn't one of those, like we've talked about, where you throw the challenge because you're planning on calling the timeout anyway. You probably needed that later on in the game, rather than right there.
Got it. Tim, you got anything to add to that super chat there, bud? Anything at all?
No, I think it's pretty well stated.
Yeah. Thank you, Godsmack. Appreciate you, buddy. I think I agree with pretty much everything you said there. Josh Martin with the super. Thank you, Bob. He says, I think he means Adam Scheffner. Initial reports are Parsons tore the ACL. Yeah, when he went to turn, you could see the knee shift from left to right. That's typically did you see it the same way, Amelia? You've got ACL experience there. Did that look like
and when I sent you all the video of it, but just the second look at it from the side there, when you kind of saw it run up his calf sort of kind of ran up and sort of just expanded, I would say.
What do they call that?
Ruptured.
No, there's a when they tear their Achilles, you can see it's almost like it chases up.
Reverberated, or
there you go. College kid, you.
Yeah, no, but that's and not just the way he planted. Right when mine happened, I planted my left foot and I was opening my hips right to open my hips to the inside, and my foot stayed in the ground. His stayed in the ground when he tried to plant his outside foot to come back inside to cover Bo. And that's where you get a buckle here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. So
on my knee,
ain't no perks gonna help that, boys. I'm just telling you.
Nope.
I mean, but the thing, like, you can walk off on it. That's the craziest thing too. Is like you all it takes is top of the knee, bottom of the top of the calf, bottom of the knee there. Shift it back and forth to see if it's disconnected. But you can walk on it. You can still move. It's just you can't be putting weight or trying to go horizontal with it.
Yeah. I didn't know for a second you were trying to give me hope, like, hey, look, we'll roll him out there next week.
No. I mean, unless it's like one of those Kingsley ones, where he didn't need surgery or anything like that.
That's still a mystery, right? I was waiting for that to pop up on the reboot of Unsolved Mysteries. Like, how the hell that happened? You know what I mean? Out of nowhere. So, Josh, thank you for the super, buddy. Appreciate you. Soda with the super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, Packers were super efficient on offense up to the deep shot pick. That was not great in-game management in that spot. I have to agree, but however, there was a couple times in our text thread, I'm sure you guys caught on. You probably got the vibe. I wanted us to be a little more conservative early in the second half, and we came out kind of firing. And then lo and behold, you get that tutter. You didn't hear me complain about the tutter, right?
Yeah, right.
So, but I completely agree with Soder. I wanted to get your all's take on that. I was actually going to ask you guys this. Did y'all feel like, even though that was a deep shot pick where you didn't lose a lot of field position, you almost picked up field position on it, did y'all feel like the air just came out of the Packers offense at that point, or do you think it was more about all the injuries just compounded?
No, that was definitely a turning point, I think, not getting that one. And, like we talked about in our chat, you'd like to see Jordan put that ball out there a little bit further, maybe miss long instead of missing short. But either way, Scoot's slamming down on that chest, getting that shoulder. So I don't know if you avoid the injury altogether, but you definitely avoid the pick if you leave it a little longer. We'll have to go back and watch all 22, but I'm sure Jordan had pressure in his face. I'd be willing to bet on it. So probably hard to really step into that throw. So he left it a little short. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, you're spot on, Tim. I think, like you said, a little short there, but I don't mind the look at all. I would 100% go for a chance. I mean, yeah, it's past Surtain, but at some point you got to challenge the guy, right? You can't be afraid to throw at him the entire time. Why would you not give your number 1 6'4" wide receiver a chance? He had it. It was there, but it just needed to be. If it was out in front 2 more feet, it's over. Watson probably catches that and is cruising. But I don't hate the look. I don't hate the attempt. We needed a wall. We needed to build the wall up front. I've been trying to say that from the beginning. We have cracks in the foundation, man. I don't even know if the foundation's there. Right? We'll talk about Belton later, man, but that was tough.
Yeah. We know what our early positional needs are going to be when we start putting together the draft board. We need guards and center and guards and –
we need our boy, who we need back, Tim.
Hold up. I had a line here. You said we need to build the wall, and I was going to say, what mortar you need shot in that crack right there in that wall, Emilio?
What kind of mortar, Clay?
You tell me, sir.
I'm pretty sure it would be Mr. Glove. The fact that we lost the linchpin in the offensive line early in the season was
this guy right here, man. Feels like it was 3 lifetimes.
You know what else is tough is Morgan didn't get any burn at all. With all the injuries, with the hang-ups, with the penalties, nothing.
It's kind of telling.
I don't know what's going on in there. Unless he's only left tackle, cool. But if Rashid had 4 penalties, when do you give him the shot? You know what I mean? When is it? Is it got to be injury based to give him the shot?
Yeah, and also you in the back of your mind as a coach, you got to be thinking we gave Belton all the reps all week, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Kind of like what you said last year about how we cut Bull a little bit of slack when he was having to practice his corner and then in the game have to go play safety because somebody got banged up, right? So, yeah, just tough. But Soder, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Completely agree with what you got there. Michael Diesel Train with the super chat. Thank you, pal. He says, man, I know it's next man up, but Parsons and these injuries, Parsons is a back breaker, fam. CW should be back with the chest. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, Michael. And listen, I agree with Parsons. It is a backbreaker, but maybe Christian Watson's back sooner rather than later. And like Tim said, you never know when things could heat back up, and you can rebound. You go to Chicago next week, no matter how banged up you are. If you go into Chi-Town and somehow get a win against that team that created a lot of momentum tonight. We fell flat with the momentum in the second half. They are riding a high right now, albeit it was Cleveland, but they looked really good on offense against a really good defense today. But again, even with all that being said, you go back in, short week, you game plan, you try to put together the best game plan to go in there and win. If you beat Chicago next week, even with all the injuries, it's going to be hard not to go, hey, you never know. Don't rule this team out, because with a week of preparation, with all the injuries, that the Packers had a week of preparation to put together a game plan both offensively and defensively to replay the Denver Broncos. I still like our chances of keeping it close. You know what I mean? It's probably going to be a 1-possession game like today. Am I wrong too? And thank you for that super chat, Michael. I'll ask you guys this question. It kind of got me thinking. Did you guys feel like it was more than an 8-point win? Like, to me, it just felt like by the time the game was over, I was just like, man, it doesn't even feel like this is a 1-possession game. Did y'all feel like that, or was that just me?
I don't know. I was still in it. We still had the chance when they went for it. All right, cool. Our defense made a stop. That gives you life. You get a chance. I was confident in Matt at least calling up something good for the 2-point, and I was hoping Jordan had the options to get us there, but he can't even get 5 seconds back there to spin it. You got him looking for Bo. Yeah, Tony Romo kept talking about the check down. That's cool, but Tony Romo wouldn't have hit the dude while he's running forward and the running backs to 8 yards to the right, even with you. Like, there's no shot you're spinning that thing over there to him. So yeah, it's tough looking at it after the fact, but I just like that we had an opportunity. Props to the defense still fighting through with the injuries, knowing that because they lost a lot. Yeah, our offense lost a lot of win with Christian. Cool. Our defense was kind of hanging in there. You lose a lot more win once the defense loses one. And that whole time Tom's out, for the offense, there's just so much that was stacked up on it. If we had come back and won it, way to put your head down, fight through, grind it out. All right, but we saw this is probably worst off. All right, yeah, we got the loss, cool, but we lost all these injuries. We lost our players at important positions. This was the worst of the worst. I mean, it's not like we can go down from here. Even if, whatever happens next week with the Bears, it's not going to be as bad as everything that we suffered today.
All right. I think it's a fair point. Thank you for the super, Michael. Appreciate you, buddy. King Tron with the super. We were good without 9 before, but now without number 1, sad emoji. Thinking emoji, sad emoji. Yeah, you got to think of how we played defense last year. We finished as a top 10 defense, right? And I do feel like our defense, even without Micah Parsons, is better this year than they were last year. But Tim, you can't just dismiss the fact of what Micah is. What it comes down to, Tim, is you've now got to adjust the game plan significantly, right? There's no more of that Joker 1 looks that we talk about with the 3-3-5 and him rushing the A gap. You got to get a little bit creative, and guys like LVN and Gary, which Gary, I thought he played pretty good. I know early on there had a couple of run stops. It was like, man, running down running backs from behind. I was thinking he heard them guys talking about him being slow, right? But yeah, without Micah, man, it does feel a little bit different here. But maybe it's just because we got so caught up in all the hype, because he's arguably the best defensive player in the league,
It's true, and it's not so much just hype for hype's sake, right? It's valid. Like you look at the numbers that he's put up this season, despite being held, 99% of snaps. He's a wrecker, man. He's a game wrecker, and that will have an impact on your D. But to your point, I think it's time. Yeah, we gotta see guys like Rashawn and Kingsley and Igbare step up. We got to see a little bit of LVN out there today. Hopefully, that's a sign of things to come, and we'll see him getting more snaps as these next 3 games come on us here to finish out the year. We're down, but we're not out, and I'm sure Coach Hafley is gonna make some adjustments to the scheme, like you said. I don't see anyone else going into that Joker role the way Micah was able to kind of tilt the defense like that. Be a great time to get Colin Oliver back. Brenton Cox Jr., there's some guys on the other end here that might be able to work back into the lineup here in the next few weeks, hopefully. So I'm not willing to say it's all over until it's over.
Yeah, and last year, Emilio, I think we used Rashawn Gary in that spot a couple of times. I remember him standing up over the nose like that. Yep. It looks way different with Micah Parsons, obviously, but Gary, maybe they start to kick him in there on a couple of Joker 1 looks, especially when you want to compress the middle of the pocket on 3rd and long, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and that's you still have to get to those kind of looks. It doesn't matter kind of who we're using. You could use LVN in there. You have a couple other options, but again, you're fighting through some top end losses. You lost Wyatt, you lost Micah. Whatever happens with Evan, that's on the defense, and then the O's got to work through it. So I think the D can still do it. I think Hafley can still get to some of those. If we have to get back to the schemed up, fire zone looks, we can do that. He did that a lot at the end of last year. But it's not just something that we have to, because we still have Coop. Quay got a little banged up, okay, but we have a lot of side-to-side speed. If the D-line can hold up, my thing is we need to worry about contain at this point. How are they going to get outside of us? I think that's where teams are going to try to exploit our edges without that Micah speed.
Yeah, that's a good point, because how many times have we seen Micah run them down like a superhuman, right?
And you saw tonight where Micah outran. I mean, Rashawn and Micah were at the same distance, and Micah just took off, dude. And he just ran him down like it was no problem. So my thing, I'm just thinking back to the Caleb last time, where we were looking at Caleb run and Micah ran him down a couple times. Cool. I think we're going to need to keep contain on him, even if you need to bring up the secondary. But again, a quarterback on the move, Bo Nix, he put Bull in the pickle early in the game, where they got that quick roll left dump and a 8-yard touchdown or whatever, because you put the corner of the secondary in a bind.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you for that super chat, Sean. Appreciate you, buddy. Caterpillar with the 20 spot. Appreciate you so much, Caterpillar. He says, well, I don't drink anymore, so I'll just donate the money I want to spend on a bottle. Cheers, LOL. But boy, was my sobriety put to the test today. Prayers up to all those are hurt. Yeah, amen to that, buddy. I haven't had a drop in a long time. It's been I want to say a couple months now, something like that. And I'm with you, man. It'll test you a little bit today for sure. But
Couple old fashions, Clay.
Amelia said, "Hey, give me that orange, right? I got to
Yeah.
tell you, you got an orange in there, right? Is that what that is?"
Oh yeah.
All right. So what's in that coffee cup there? And it's funny you flash that up there, Tim, because we know tomorrow all those people that this week said Jordan was the guy. It's going to be a complete 180 tomorrow, and all of a sudden he's a bum again, right? So, anything you guys want to add here to Caterpillar's generous super chat, man? Anything at all?
No, thanks for the super. That's awesome.
Yeah,
at least we got a little bit of a win today. Thanks, man.
There you go.
I'll make sure that Clay gives me my portion so I can go refill the bullet I got back there. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Yeah, thank you for the super. We appreciate you, Caterpillar. We had a bunch of people jump in here just a second ago. If y'all would take a quick second, spin those laces for us, smash that like button that turns into a football. Pretty cool little feature. Hit that for us real quick. That'll help boost the algorithm. Also, if you're new here, thanks for making us part of your post-game festivities. Wish it could be a little bit better situation. Obviously, a lot better situation with all the injuries, but we greatly appreciate y'all hanging out with us. And we're going to go through the box score here in a second, kind of talk about what the playoff picture looks like. But hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live. Deadfish in here says, is there any way Parsons can be back for the playoffs, or is he done? If it's ACL, he's done. Deadfish. And
I would anticipate he'd be back pretty quick. I think about how Rashawn rehabbed his ACL a couple years back and was ahead of schedule. Mike is a freak, man, you know. So, but if that is what it is, yeah, he's done for the year. Yeah,
to me, Emilio, it would feel like, I agree with Tim. To me, it feels like you're September at the earliest, right?
Yep.
Right, 9 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you probably wouldn't want to rush him. Do whatever you can to get back. If you're back by October, who cares? You know, it's not one of those things that you need him back in September.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. So, Deadfish, appreciate the question, man. But if it's an ACL yet. Now, listen, if it comes back and it's an MCL somehow, some way, I don't expect that, but that would be
meniscus. He could probably get back in a couple weeks, but the way you saw it go all the way through the leg, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate you, Deadfish. You the man. All right, let's jump into the box score. That sound good, fellas? We'll just kind of relive this game real quick. We'll hit that, then we'll go to the playoff updates and all that. There was one point during the day where we had everything going our way. It was like, oh my God, we're going to
halftime. By halftime, I was like, okay, I was feeling all right. You know, we're in good shape.
The Seahawks. It was like, holy cow, we're going to be the number 1 seed, boys. This is awesome. And then all hell broke loose there in the second half. So that's just the way it shakes sometimes. So let's jump into the box score a little bit. So Jordan Love finishes the day 24 of 40, 276 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. He was sacked 3 times for a loss of 29 yards. There was a couple times I was screaming, just throw the ball out of bounds, Jordan. I think he made a couple mental mistakes there, but at the same time, man, he had pressure all over him all day. So I can understand how you come away with that. Bo Nix, boys, that's a staple game for Bo Nix. 23 of 34, 302 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no picks. He dominated today. We did a really good job stopping their run game. I want to say their rushing offense was like 10th best in the league, somewhere around that mark at yards per carry, I believe. Held them to 31 carries for 89 yards and a touchdown. Again, Bo Nix creating those secondary windows, changing the arm angle, doing everything he had to do to try to win that ball game. Had a hell of a day. Josh Jacobs, 12 carries, 73 yards on 1 freaking leg with 1 touchdown, a long of 40, by the way. Had that, like I said, that touchdown run. And then, of course, in the receiving game, like we said, our boy Josh Jacobs had 2 catches for 19 yards, including that awesome contested catch there in the end zone for the touchdown. So he obviously had a good game. Let's go back to the quarterback play. Anything you guys want to add to the quarterback play? How do y'all feel about Bo Nix? Am I giving him too much credit, or did you guys see the same thing I see today?
No, he was humming that tater today. That one he had for the tutter early, too, that nose down right in between our coverage. Great ball placement. Yeah, the kid's talented. I'm not a fan, but he plays really well. And I think it would be unfair not to give credit where credit is due, right? And he played a hell of a game today.
Gotcha. I'll pop that back up in a second. Emilio, what's your thoughts on Bo Nix? Then we'll answer the super chat from Soder.
Yeah, Bo Nix, early prelim grade of an 84.2, 84.7 passing, 60 run block. We kind of asked him to beat us, and he sort of did. You know what I mean? We had to make sure that we stopped the run. That was where they were excelling, and they were a short pass sort of team. He hit us over the top a few times, and that's something that just – he bid on that one out and up. Carrington got beat on that over the shoulder fade. not like it's it's not the corner's fault, but those 3 plays or whatever, those things are magnified. Every time you see something like that, 40-yard, 30-yard flip, that's a field flipper, game changer sort of play. And then you can sort of nickel and dime it and move it from there. A couple of times that we were close, body rolls over the top for first downs, tackling. I think that, at least it was an AFC opponent. In the grand scheme of things, losing to the AFC's top contender isn't horrible right now during the regular season. But again, everything's just going to fall back on how much, you lost and, how much you were bleeding this game from the injuries, right? And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Soder with the super chat said, why can't Green Bay get consistent depth on their zone drops? It's a year after year thing, voids everywhere. I don't know, man. I got to disagree with that, Soder, respectfully, of course. I think our pass defense has been great this year. Now, today you had some situations like we were breaking down a play in real time. The game's going on, and me and Emilio was trying to dissect the play. All right, was that Tampa 2 or not, right? And if it was a 3-by-1 set, it felt like it should have been McDuffie that would have gotten deeper. But however, it was a 2-by-2 set, which means the 2, if the 1 or the 2 goes vert in a match situation, then the safety on that side would cover the 2, and he should clamp down on that. Instead, I believe it was a safety, or it might have been an invert Carrington Valentine. Right. I couldn't remember, but they were kind of just hanging out in the back line of the end zone. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? So I didn't see it as McDuffie didn't get enough depth there. I felt like the safety wasn't aggressive enough underneath. So match situation, Soder, which is the majority of what I seen today. I didn't see a whole lot of spot drop, which is true zone defense. But I hate to pile on, but, the guys know this was coming. I was in the text thread. I'm just not overly impressed with Quay. I feel like there's times where he's kind of covering grass. And I know that's not how the scheme is designed. Okay, you just stay right here in this spot. Don't go anywhere. He had a crucial missed tackle there at one point too. So sometimes those voids look bigger than they actually are when you're just kind of sitting back and not really attacking. I'd rather you make a mistake. You know what I mean? Like make a mistake big as opposed to, oh crap, now he's on me, up, he made me miss. And so Soder says, yeah, it was McDuffie on the touchdown. I disagree. And Emilio, did you come to the conclusion that you agreed with me there, or did you think that was McDuffie that should have carried that guy?
Yeah, I thought at first I really did think it was McDuffie just because he had higher depth than the rest of the linebackers. But when I saw Key start to carry that outside guy at the bottom of the screen there, he started carrying him pretty high. I kind of got off of that and maybe thought you were probably on it with there, even if it was maybe a 6 or something, right. 2 to one side, and then you got to pick it up if you're that 4 look there. But just a dart, right? I mean, you fired in the seam over top of 2 defenders. The rush doesn't get there in time. It just they beat us. Bo was spinning it, and at that point, all right, fine. That's where you got to take all this tape and learn from it. Because that's something that you can take into next game. Because every team's going to look at it now. It's only the second game I think we've given up that's over 300 yards passing this year. So it's not like it's happened a lot. The defense hasn't gotten diced up like that, but perfect learning material from this game from it.
Yeah. So and again we'll have to go look at the all 22 and kind of dissect. And even then, guys, when we break down the all 22, hopefully we're vocal enough when we do chalk talk that we're not in the meeting room, right? So there's no way we're going to bat 1,000. No way that we can say with 100% certainty, here's what it is. But we do try to give you 2 or 3 reference points from other techniques being played on the specific play and how they're adjusting on the fly to the play that's called on offense. So we usually got a really good idea of, okay, yeah, this is probably the call here, right? Yeah. Now sometimes they tip their hand. I know the coaches don't like that. Like last week, Evan Williams probably got scolded by the coaches by saying, yeah, that was my guy and Keyshawn saved me. It's like, probably don't need to say that because now that tells everybody that was a true man coverage play. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're kind of splitting hairs there, but yeah.
But if he's talking about that one 3rd down, I think it was to Sutton, where we were in like a mug coffee house sort of look, and Coop and Quay, I'm pretty sure, both dropped, and they're both getting back to their spot. Carrington gets put in the bind where the dude's running the dude in the motion runs the out, and then you got Sutton crossing his face. There's not much you can do there. I mean, you're just splitting the zones. He got it out fast. It was timing and rhythm. We had a couple of those when you get those speed outs to Watson and stuff like that. You just can't beat that sometimes if you got the leverage. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I double checked. The only other one would have been Cowboys. Dak threw over 319. So it's not like this defense has given up a bunch of passing yards. We've kept all quarterbacks under 300. Bo and Dak excluded.
Yeah, definitely. So appreciate the super chat, Solder. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Make sure we didn't miss anything else. Eric Sutherland said Bo Nix had protection. Funny how that works. Yeah, I mean, it makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference, Eric. No doubt about it, man. Felt like Bo had better protection today. Do you agree with that, Tim?
Oh yeah, definitely. He looked like he was at least able to be comfortable at times back there. I mean, we did get home a few times, right? Flushed him out, but he was able to throw from the well on a couple of those. And then when he had to throw on the run, he was great, But I do think the protection was I don't even think that's up for debate. I think he was the better protected quarterback today for sure.
And I don't think anybody's going to say that Jordan is just as mobile as Bo Nix either. Like Bo Nix is pretty. He's sneaky quick. He really is, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Chester Marco with super chat said we need an ignore button to block a posters. If you're talking about people who put in the chat or post in the chat that you don't want to see, you can actually block them on YouTube. I'm not saying anybody should do that. I'm just telling you how it works. You can block them or mute them or what have you, and you'll never see their posts anymore, and they won't see yours. It's just like they disappear from the face of the earth, but they can still comment in here and argue with people if they want. Now, if it gets to the point where somebody's just coming in trolling, then obviously we can protect the chat because we don't want it to turn into that. We're all here to talk about the game, have a good time, treat each other with respect, and obviously keep the knuckleheads out of here and keep the turds out of the punch bowl, if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, you should be able to individually do that. Is that right, Emilio?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he followed it up with, well, then please disregard my super chat, Clayton. So he got it squared away. I get that every time. Yeah, you lose some of those, Clay, in Ultimate Team. When you go against duos and you get kind of get stomped on a little bit. They got they spend way too much money on it. You go to quick, real fast. EA, I'm gonna block that dude real fast. I don't want any communications with the dude that just whacks me in an Ultimate Team game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So again, it's just for me. I just don't have time to deal with negative people. Like you guys know, I'm on Twitter. I've spent such a large amount of time trying to clean up my social media to where, all right, I'm weeding the negative folks out to where it's like, if the only time I hear from you, it's negative, or if you've got something disrespectful to say on a tweet, like if I tweet something out, that's my opinion, I don't go commenting on other people's tweets. I don't troll people like that. Right. It's like, if somebody asks my opinion, hey man, what's your honest opinion? I'll give it. Right. On their tweets. If they ask for a reply, but if somebody tweets something, I was taught, yeah, you don't go knocking on somebody's door and go, hey, you're a dumbass. You know what I mean? So if somebody does that to me, it's real simple. I just lock the door, pretend like they don't exist. So that's the way I try to roll there. Because again, man, life's too short, and I watch football to enjoy football. I watch football to learn about football. I watch football to find new buddies, to talk the game with. I don't need the people who just comment just to be negative or just roll like that. It's just not worth it, man. So, and I am always amazed though. The thing that amazes me the most is the amount of people who cannot accept the fact that you don't want to talk to them. Like, all right, man, we're obviously not on the same page. You see the game different than I see it, and that's okay, right? But I don't want to have an argument with you. We don't even know each other. Like, whether you're a Joe Rogan fan or not, Joe Rogan said something one time. He said, there's a lot of mental illness going on in our country on social media that people – he said, you understand, you're mentally ill if you go on social media to argue with a stranger you never met and you keep that argument. It takes a different kind of person to approach it that way. Like, right. Are you I just don't understand it. Don't get it, man. It is what it is. So
no, I got you, Clay.
Let's see what John Baker's probably disagreeing with me here. Let's see what the super chat says. Appreciate you, John. He says, I thought the deep pass to Watson was too aggressive opening the second half. Obviously, hindsight 2020. Wanted to see us shift to run heavy since we had the lead. Go Pack, go. See, me and you are the same person. John Baker is my burner account. But again, when it works, John, you and I don't complain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And tonight, it worked in the second half. Am I wrong, guys? Am I misremembering that?
We went down and scored, right? And then this would have been the second possession of the second half, and you take a shot. Me, I'm throwing that ball 10 out of 10 times. I'm
Right.
going to be honest. I'm throwing that thing because you got to do with updated 97 speed on Madden, Clay, Christian Watson over the top. I'm taking that look over Surtain. I don't care if the dude's 99, whatever you want him to be. I got faith in my guy. You're throwing that up there, Jordan. But again, Tim was talking about it. Dude got cracked. I mean, we cannot have that sort of line. We had a good well last game. We had a pretty good well. We went over it in Chalk Talk against the Bears. This D-line was cooking us. Our O-line felt like they were just getting battered out there. I don't know what happened.
Yep.
Yeah, and so kind of back to what John's saying here. I feel like you were too aggressive on that second drive, but again, man, I felt like you were too aggressive on the first drive, and it worked. So, as Greg Rice says, scary money don't make money, right? So, when it works, we love it. When it don't, we don't, right?
Scared money don't make money.
If it wasn't, 2 yard or 2 short, that's probably 6. I mean, if he could have stepped into that, that's probably 6.
Right. And that's not a shot at Love. Again, we got to go back and watch the tape, but I feel like in real time, he couldn't really step into the throw. So he just kind of, and here's the thing too. I also look at Watson, like he should have been able to adjust the ball a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But then everybody was mad at him, but also everyone was mad at him earlier in the year, Clay, when he tried to play defense and didn't go to catch the ball.
That's
so
true.
This time, what's if he went to play defense and broke it up? And then why didn't he go to catch that one? He could have had it. So it's,
yeah. That's as Pat McAfee says, that's football, baby. That's football, right? We're mad or we're not. We're mad or happy. Yep. One of the two. But yeah, in terms of kind of going back to that though, it's just one of those things, man. That when it works, we love it. When it don't, we hate it. I hate to keep saying the same thing over and over, but it is funny how that's how we fan. I'm as guilty as anyone. I really am. I would have liked to see him try to press into the run a little bit more, but also Josh Jacobs being banged up. It's like, what do? You can see it. Am I wrong there too? Like, it seemed like every time he came off the field and he needed a blow, it was like, boy, he does not look healthy right now.
No, he was dinged up, Tim. And on that first one to Wiley, where Troy Polamalu lookalike blew up Wiley, and it just slammed into Josh's knee. I thought he was done for the game right there. Honestly, dude came back in. He's a grinder, but yeah, that's tough, man. Dude, putting his body through it. Matt was even talking. I muted it for a second. Matt was talking about it on the presser. Looking back on it, maybe you do want to get it back to Josh after making that catch, breaking that long run. Maybe you want to get it to him a couple more times. But again, hindsight's 20/20.
Yep, for sure. iRock coming in hot. Thank you, John, for the super chat. iRock says NFL's rigged. There you go. So now we know why Jacob is always complimented iRock's hair. Because iRock is Jacob's burner. Now we know it all comes full circle. Right? So, but we appreciate you, iRock. Good to see you in here, buddy. Just cutting up there. So, just trying to look through the chat, make sure we didn't miss anything. I think
there's that word, Clay. Reverberate. See, I had it.
Yeah, I was trying. I've almost had it. I was nowhere near it. No chance. No way. On the defensive side of the ball here, let's just take a quick look. Quay Walker led the way with 9 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. So, man, he racks up the tackles. There's no doubt about it. I just I don't know, man. It feels like the contract they offered him is probably less than what he thinks he could get on the market. And my guess is he'll make it to the offseason and try to get a better offer. If he gets one, great. If not, maybe the Packers end up lowering their offer already since he didn't take it on the spot. I think there's a decent chance Quay isn't here next year, just based off of what the market is for him. Because I think there are teams that would look at Quay and think, man, he's a physical freak. We can take those tools and make something way better than maybe even what the Packers have made out of it. But Xavier McKinney, 8 total tackles, 7 solo. Great game for him, in my opinion. Again, you'd like to see him come away with one of those picks. But that play he made from center field, man, ain't nobody could track a ball like that, dude. I don't know. The one that he undercut, though, if he picks that pass off, we probably win this ball game. I think the momentum was totally different. Was that in the third quarter, guys? Am I thinking right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would really kind of keep the momentum in the Packers' favor.
Sort of baited him a little bit, got underneath it. And
he really did bait him. Yeah, no doubt. Edgerrin Cooper, 7 solo tackles, 2 for a loss. I thought he had a pretty good game, in my opinion. Keyshawn, let's talk Keyshawn for a second. again, we haven't watched the tape yet, but I felt like he got cooked. Do y'all agree with that take, or is it too early to say that? Because just on the surface, that's what it felt like. He had a bad game.
It didn't feel like there was a DB that didn't get cooked at least once in this game.
That's fair.
Shout out to Nate Hobbs, who's injured again. Hopefully that wasn't serious, but you can add him to the list. But yeah, we saw Hobbs cooked on one, or maybe just a busted assignment. I think he got too deep on one of the coverages. But yeah, CV got cooked a couple times, and Keyshawn got cooked a couple times, and I'm sure those guys would all own up to that. You know, I don't think they're going to try and defend the way that they played today. You know, I thought Valentine still showed some flashes, though. I mean, he was that close on a couple of plays, timing it up. We talked about the missed opportunities with the picks, but yeah, man, our DBs did not look their best today. Probably one of the worst performances from our secondary today. Yeah.
All right, so there you go. There was a couple other notes I had here just in our text thread. The Wicks drop that got tipped to be a pick. I said it in the text thread. I said bad pass, bad hands, and a great defensive play, right? Like, it's all three are true on that play, in my opinion. Jordan could have threw a better ball. Wicks had his hands on it, should have caught the ball, and the defender to be able to just adjust to that quickly, you got to tip your cap there as well. So, anything you guys want to add to that, to the Wicks? Because that's the other thing we're not talking about. On that final drive, it looked really ugly. Like, what the hell happened in this offense? Yeah, Jaden Reed go out on that final drive too, right?
Mm-hmm. So Reed went out, but he got hit again on that release to Wicks, a little bit behind him. Like you said, Wicks hit his hands. He knows that he probably should have had that one, and just a tip drill where they caught one. We had a tip drill too where, you know, it hit off LVN's helmet, and we should have had one right there earlier, and it's just didn't get the ball to bounce our way a couple times. That's pretty much it. Game of inches, man. Came down to it.
And just kind of going through some of this, I think we hit all the super chats. We're good, right? Okay, we're caught up. Just going through some of the beat writers and everybody that cover the Packers. Before we do, if everybody would take a quick second, smash that like button for us. We greatly appreciate y'all hanging out with us for the post-game show. Also, if you're on Twitter and you want to join the chat on YouTube, just click on my profile. You'll see a YouTube link. Hop in here, sub to the channel, and you can see all of the conversation that's taking place on YouTube that you may not see. We can't put it on the screen in case somebody says something inappropriate, obviously. You never know about these knuckleheads. So if you want to jump into the chat and join the conversation, feel free to do so. So Wes Hikowitz said, tweeted out, Rashawn Gary said he spoke to Micah Parsons after the game. Quote, Gary says, I told him to keep his head up, and we're going to finish strong for him. That's what I told him. I'm going to keep in contact with him throughout what he's doing. That was my first message to him. It hurt. So Gary already kind of, trying to console Micah, and I love that he said we're going to finish strong for him. I'd love to see Bang Gary just play outside of his mind for the remainder of the season. Kind of do it for one there. Yeah. Zach Cruz also tweeted out. Actually, I probably shouldn't read that. I was thinking that was injury related. So anyway, what do y'all think about how Rashawn Gary responded to that?
We know Rashawn's a leader in that locker room. Period. I've witnessed it with my own eyes. I think it's a good thing we have players like that. I think, like I said, Kingsley Enagbare, another guy. If we can get him to just keep it all in perspective and not fly off the handle too much, because that's an intense dude. But I think guys like Rashawn are going to step up, and they are going to give us every opportunity to win. These next 3 ball games, and hopefully go into the playoffs strong. It's not always, it doesn't come down to just one game. The whole season's not going to be determined by this loss. The loss on our record certainly didn't destroy our playoff chances. I mean, yeah, we're down to 7 again, but you see how, people jockey for position week to week. You can move up and down the list very quickly. Bottom line, you got to win, I would think, at least 2 out of these next 3, right? And you want to try and finish strong. And Bang Gary is not going to put up with anybody not giving effort, and you're going to get full bore, full throttle Rashawn Gary out there the rest of the year. So buckle up, man. It's not over until it's over.
Yeah, great point. That Zach Cruz tweet I can read. I try to be as professional as possible, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to spill his personal. Maybe he's arguing on Twitter, but this is what he said. I try to be as professional as possible. doing this, but I'm not sure I've ever been as shell-shocked watching a game as I was today. Just devastating. Feel sick for the players, coaches, fans, everyone involved. It's a cruel game we care so much about. I think that's very well said. Very well said. Tip your cap to Zach Cruz, man. That's I'm gonna give that in a retweet there. That is a great post, man. So better news, says Tom Silverstein. Better news for the Packers. Right tackle Zach Tom said there didn't appear to be any structural damage in his injured right knee. Safety Evan Williams said he'd have tests on his knee. He said it didn't feel as badly as when he missed 4 games in college. So that I think we can consider both of those, at least early on, good news. Zach Tom, nothing structural, and Evan Williams seems to think, just going off of his very vague statement there, you would think it would be less than 4 games that he's going to miss. And I know that's very, very vague, but I think that's good news, right? Both of those guys.
Hey, I'll take whatever we can get at this point, right? When we made that run in 2010, Starks came in just for Grant, right? So you get a couple of those where you lean on some no names, but it's not like we don't cover them here. So I think that the defense can still sort of make it back. But again, I think Hafley's going to have to sort of switch up his approach, and teams aren't going to be prepping for Micah. If that's the case, whatever happens with him, it's going to be a completely different defensive scheme. He's going to sort of need to fall back on what he did last year on how teams would sort of approach this defense. We need to, see if we need to give help to the corners. How are we going to scheme up those blitzes? Is it going to be more on Coop and Quay? Whatnot, how we're going to get there. But just a tough game for the D there.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else there, Tim? You want to add to that, buddy?
No, I think that covers it.
All right, good deal. So let's shift gears now, and let's talk about what happened today across the National Football League and kind of give everybody an idea on the playoff. We'll keep an eye on the Super Chats as one just rolled in. King Tron, thank you, buddy. Has there been a worse injury day in Packers history? A worse injury day?
Like single game, guys dropping like left and right? Yeah.
I can't think of one. Can you, Tim?
Not in recent memory, no.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like you just mentioned, Emilio, that 2010 team was banged the hell up going into the playoffs as well.
Yeah.
And found a way to get it done. So that's why I say it ain't over until it's over. But yeah, in last 10, 15, 20 years, I can't remember anything this bad in so many key players too. Mm-hmm. You're talking about valuable pieces to this team. It's just a tough day. Still holding out hope for Scoot, though. Maybe it's not super serious. We'll see more once we find out this week.
Mm-hmm. Emilio, anything? You good, bud? All right.
No.
All right, cool. Thank you for that super chat, Tron. We appreciate you, buddy. We'll keep an eye out for those. Let's go to the playoff picture real quick. As the games have pretty much been decided there in the 4 o'clock window, everything's refreshed. So here is how the current playoff picture looks in the
playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
I'm so glad you let the whole thing play, man. I needed that in my life right there. So, all right. So you were just defeated by the number 1 seed in the AFC, the Denver Broncos. They're sitting at 12-2. The number 2 seed is now the New England Patriots at 11-3. The 3 seed is the Jacksonville Jaguars at 10-4. Number 4 seed is your Aaron Rodgers-led Pittsburgh Steelers at 7-6. They play Monday Night Football tomorrow. That'll be a fun one to watch. 5 seed is the LA Chargers. 6 seed is the Buffalo Bills. 7 seed is the Houston Texans. Don't look now. Houston's defense may have just snuck into the playoffs, gents. So that's how the AFC looks. Let me hit the super chat real quick as they come in. Sorry to cover your face up, Tim. But this is
Randy.
What is it?
That's Randy Cleavers, right?
Randy Cleavers. All right, got it. So the names keep changing on YouTube. Thank you so much for the generous super chat there, Randy. We appreciate you. So I still have faith in this team. Go Pack. God, love it. I love it.
I'm right behind you, Randy. Literally, right behind you.
That's a lot of.
I'm with you, brother.
Tim, that broke me up, dude.
I need it, man. And you know what? Matt LaFleur had a quote just a second ago, and Matt Steinman had put it out. It says, "Quote: Why are we doing this if it doesn't hurt?" I love that. Like, seriously, man, anything worth having, there's going to be struggles, right? And Randy says he still believes in the team. You know what? By God, Randy, if you believe, I believe, buddy. I believe, too. We're going to come back next week, try to beat them Bears. That's what we're going to do, all right? So
he is a G.
Sound like we got a little bit of update here. I didn't realize we had. We got DJ Schultz in the house. Love that picture right there, by the way. It's my guy right there. It's my guy, Trucker John. All right. Considering Watson was taken to the hospital with chest injuries, is it possible a collapse or punctured lung?
Broken rib.
Man. I don't know. Let me drop this down. I can't handle not seeing Tim there. So, yeah, I don't know, DJ. That kind of the way he hit, right? It wasn't so much his shoulder. It was almost like the elbow. Am I wrong here? Like the elbow was tucked in toward the rib, so maybe it was a rib. So that would make sense. Now, if he broke a rib,
time Randall Cobb got popped and he was wearing the mic pack, remember? And he cracked a rib and was spitting up blood, and yeah, it was nasty. Some nasty stuff, depending on how you land, But I'm with you, Clay. I don't know if that's full on shoulder or something, below, like armpit area, on the side, cracked a rib or something.
Yeah. Can't say that kid doesn't put it out all on the line for this team.
Oh, absolutely, man.
That's right.
Absolutely. Love Christian Watson. Love it. And we know if there's any chance for him to come back sooner rather than later, that dude will be back.
Yep. Give me the extra padding, strap it up, give me an extra cushion or two right there, tighten up the shoulder pads, let's go.
Yeah, that's a great point, DJ. It could be the case, man. We'll have to wait and probably see tomorrow or Tuesday, I would imagine. Super chat from King Tron. Appreciate you, buddy. Matt LaFleur looked to maybe have tears at the podium. Yeah, because he knows, man, these guys have been putting it all on the line for him, man. And to see this many of the guys who've been out there playing their ass off, and in some cases, I'm trying to think of any of those injuries that didn't have a contract. That's the part that breaks my heart, right? It's like today, Zach Tom's good to go. Christian Watson got a little mini deal there. It's not like he's hurting, right? Evan Williams sounds like he's going to be okay, so you're not so concerned there. Same thing with Jaden Reed, I would imagine. So that's a positive lining, right? I cannot stand it when it's the last year of a contract, guy gets banged up. And there's some fans that go, well, he's not coming back next year. Move on. You stay on the field. I'm like, damn, boys, that's a tough look. Like, how are we going to go that route? So I can understand why Matt would be emotional there. I think this team loves Matt, man. I think they play for Matt. I think that's something that a portion of the fan base just goes la, 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 and pretends like it's not a thing. He always goes to bat for his dudes. He always takes the heat, and he never throws anybody under the bus. So I bet he is heartbroken. But, man, next man up. Let's get out there next week, and let's go out there and try to kick some ass, So, Tron, appreciate the super chat, buddy. You're the man. All right. So back to the playoff picture. Let's get into the NFC now, okay? Here's what we got. The number 1 seed is your LA Rams. It looked like they were going to lose to the Lions at one point, and it looked like the Colts were going to beat the Seahawks. Both of those went our way. Been a great day for the Packers. However, they both went the opposite direction. Obviously, the Colts ended up losing to the Seahawks, and the Rams ended up coming back and beating the Lions. At one point, you consider it a comeback. So the LA Rams are the number 1 seed. The number 2 seed are the Chicago Bears at 10-4. Keep in mind, the Rams are just 11-3. So they're still within striking distance for the Packers, the Bears as well. But essentially what you got here, guys, are 4 teams that are towards the top, right? You got the LA Rams at 11-3. You got the Seahawks at 11-3, which ironically are the 5th seed. That's wild to think about, right? You got the Chicago Bears at 10-4 and your Green Bay Packers at 9-4-1. Those are the ones that are kind of towards the top, even though the Packers don't look like it being the 7th seed. So the Bears are the 2 seed at 10-4. The Eagles are the 3 seed at 9-5. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7-7. Boy, it'd be nice to be in that South right now, wouldn't it, boys? Just kind of hanging out down there. They're the 4 seed at 7-7. Like we said, the Seahawks are a 5 seed at 11-3. The San Francisco 49ers are the 6 seed at 10-4. And then, of course, our Green Bay Packers are the 7th seed at 9-4-1. Pretty much everything that could have went wrong today for the Packers. And we're still the 7th seed. We talked about that scenario last week. Obviously, it played out kind of in the middle for us. This week, it played out worst-case scenario. So now, let's say the Dallas Cowboys are up right now 7-0. Let's say they get this win tonight, guys, over the Vikings. Shout out to SA, by the way. And then let's say the Steelers take care of business for whatever, don't really matter. Now, let's fast forward to week 16. Here is the slate. Before we start picking some of these games and kind of looking at what could the scenario be next week for the Packers, I want to get everybody's take on how this sits right now. We'll start with you, Emilio. Let's specifically look at the NFC here. How do you see this currently sitting here, man? Obviously, the Rams 1, Bears 2, Eagles 3, Bucks 4, Seahawks 5, 49ers 6, and your Packers in the 7th seed.
Yeah, I almost think it might kind of stay right there, and maybe we flip with the Bears, take the 10-4, they go to 10-5, but right now it's not horrible where we're lined up. At least you just need a shot at the dance. Honestly, I really at this point I'm not super worried about getting that first round bye and all that. I feel like sometimes you get hung up a little bit on having that first round bye. So I think that I would honestly be fine with them playing. Just keep going week after week after week and just go with it. At this point, it's not like you're worried about injuries. Hey, see, that's my other thing. Like, all right, we've already been, devastated with this game with injuries and stuff like that. At this point, who cares if you get another injury? You know what I mean? At this point, what even matters at this point? Let's just go all out full tilt. Who cares who you lose? Whoever's there, man, we're just fighting for every W at this point.
I think it's a good point. Tim, anything you want to talk about here before we dive into next week's slate of games and kind of talk about what's on the line here, man?
Yeah, just going off of Emilio's point. I mean, it's all going to come down to this game at Soldier Field, right? You beat the Bears, handle your business, and then, like I said, you got to beat Minnesota or Baltimore. I feel like we got to go at least 2 out of 3. Winning out would be great right now, but that might be a little overly optimistic given the current circumstances. But I firmly believe that Emilio's right. We've seen this team get home field in the first round bye and come out and crap down their leg and be one and done in the playoffs. So maybe back against the wall is the way to go. Maybe you are a 6 or 7 seed. Maybe you're playing on the road. It's going to be an uphill battle the rest of the year, period, with just the injuries that we've had. So I'm with Emilio, man. Just throw caution to the wind. I'm not saying be reckless, but don't go out there playing not to get hurt. Go out there playing to try and win. And that's the beauty of this league. It's win or go home once it's playoff football. And there is no tomorrow if you don't win. So all you got to do is find a way to go 1-0 every single week. And I still have a lot of faith in this team that they can find a way to do it. Like you're saying, there's going to need to be some adjustments made. Really, even the way Matt's going to call this offense, based on the personnel we have available on that line, and then the receivers that we have available, and how well this knee is going to hold up for Josh Jacobs down the stretch. Bottom line, we're going to have him on a load management watch, and so you got to do whatever you got to do to win ball games here. That's really, I don't want to oversimplify it, but just win, baby, right? That's all you got to do.
Absolutely. Casey Oldham in the chat. Let's go to the chat here. Hang out for a second. Golden is him, though. That dude, get that dude going. Best hands guy by far, man. Anytime he comes into the frame, Emilio, and the ball's thrown to 0, I do not worry about him catching the football, man.
Yeah.
He's got great hands. And I didn't really feel like that coming out of college. Like, I didn't think he had bad hands, but the thing that jumped out to me on the tape, it wasn't necessarily like, wow, that dude's hands is unbelievable. He had strong hands. He was very twitchy in his route running, in my opinion. But, man, I agree with what Casey says here, dude. He's got probably the best hands on the team.
Dude's like Marvin Harry out there. We're the sticky bandits, man. He's got those gloves on him that are just unbelievable.
Alone, man. Love it.
Come on now. But I got Matthew Golden at 23 total snaps, 20 pass, 3 run blocking, 81.6 offensive grade, 79.1 passing grade. Early, obviously, prelim numbers, but dude just he was catching everything. And that's something that our wide receiver room was deep. Then we got hurt. Then we weren't deep. Then we got deep again. Then Kraft got hurt. Then the wide receiver room got deep again. Now we're getting less deep. Savion's out. What happens when Savion and Williams can play more snaps? And it's just and Bo we're leaning on a lot. I think you kind of saw it near at the end there when everybody was out. Bo was still getting some more reps over Golden. Then Golden went in on the last play. So I think Golden's in on pass plays for sure. But besides that, I'm not sure kind of what's holding them back. So I'll be excited to see if, whatever happens with Christian, with us being down a receiver or two, is Matthew Golden going to get 40, 60 snaps a game, or is he going to still be kind of fluttering around halfway?
Yeah. Tim, we got breaking news here, sir, if you can hit me with it. I think we've got breaking news in the chat from we go to our correspondent on the scene here, Mr. DJ Short. DJ Short says, released from hospital, traveling home by plane with the team. So that's great news, right? Sometimes you hear about these situations where they have to stay behind, spend the night in the hospital, and then fly back later. So I think that's great news there, the fact that he was released. Now, I'm sure we'll have update tomorrow, and you guys stay tuned into the channel tomorrow. We'll be going live anytime during the day that we get anything leaked out in terms of updates on these injuries. We'll make sure we smash that go live button for y'all. So make sure, like I said, you're subscribed and hit that bell icon so you're notified when we do that. I think it's great news, right? We agree there? Good.
It's certainly not bad news. I mean, hopefully that means well, I don't want to speculate. It means that he's fine back with the team. That's
ability. Yeah, he's able to get on an airplane, Tim. That's a positive. All right.
Yes,
if there was other issues going on, he wouldn't be getting on a plane right now.
Yep.
There you go. You heard it from a fan right here. So thank you, DJ. Appreciate the update, buddy. Y'all are awesome in the chat. Eric Sutherland got to get a little pop out of me. He said, this day ended like the feeling of a prostate exam with the doctor with the sausage fingers. Emilio?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I would rather
Eric had a couple lines earlier that I wanted to get back at him with, but we'll leave those for the chat. Yeah, rough day, Eric. You're spot on, bud.
Dr. Oh, man. It's Dr. Sausage Fingers. And by the way, that doctor for Dallas is back out there looking like that dude that was escorting.
The guy that was, wasn't he the one that was there when in Dallas when Jack Ruby was shot?
That's
right. Yeah, he was the
same dude. Damn guy's a time traveler. It's unbelievable. Eric, thank you for keeping things lighthearted in here, man. We appreciate the Dr. Sausage Fingers. Now, see, this is what we need, Bates, if you're watching this back later. I know you're probably lurking. We need you to create a fake YouTube account named Dr. Sausage Fingers. We need that. I need somebody in the chat to create a YouTube account. So when you comment, it's Dr. Sausage Fingers. And we need a good little profile pic to go with it. Keep it clean, but not 100% clean. You know, we
right. Yeah, toe the line a little bit.
We're going to need a Dr. Sausage Fingers in the chat.
How about these hands?
There's the Bears fans hoping for injuries. That a boy.
Yeah. I love it. I love it when they do that because they just expose themselves. There's nothing worse than having a Packer fan do that. It's like, man, that's so embarrassing as a fan base, you know. So I kind of enjoy it when rival fan bases do it. It just, you know, brings the turds right to the top of the punch bowl. So all right, let's wrap up with next week and what we got going on, what is on the line for the Packers. Here's the good news, guys. You got two teams that are going to beat each other up. You've got the LA Rams traveling to the Seattle Seahawks. All right. So obviously the LA Rams are the 1 seed. The Seahawks are the 5 seed. So let's say that the Seahawks upset the Rams somehow, right? Obviously they're going to jump to the number 1 seed after that game, right? So let's say that happens. Okay. And then you got the Eagles at the Commanders. Let's say the Eagles win that game. Okay, I think it's pretty safe to say they should have the edge on the Washington Commanders with the way the Eagles played today. Actually, let me hit the super chat real quick. Tron with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says, love y'all. Glad to have all of you. Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you, Tron.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the super chat, too. So, Packers at the Bears. Y'all want to save it for the end? Or should we? Yeah, let's save it for the end. Let's do that, all right? So, let's say the Jets somehow beat the Saints, all right? Buffalo at Cleveland. Nobody really cares, but let's say Buffalo gets that win. Kansas City Chiefs, by the way, guys. Patrick Mahomes torn ACL, done for the year. That's wild to think about, man.
And they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, just a weird day for sure. So let's say that the Chiefs still get the win. They're on the road in Tennessee. It don't really matter, right? Chargers at the Cowboys. So let's say the Cowboys win that ball game over the Chargers. I don't know if they will or not. It don't really matter in terms of playoffs for us. We're going to focus on the NFC right here. Then you got the Vikings at the Giants. It's tied up 7-7 right now, and the Cowboys just about got in the end zone. They're looking at a 1st and goal at the end of the first quarter there. So let's say that the Vikings do get that win next week. Let's hop back to week 15 and say that the Cowboys got the win. I think we already clicked that, right? Okay. So Buccaneers at the Panthers. Bucs get the win. Let's say the Bengals beat the Dolphins. Let's say that the Broncos beat the Jaguars. That wouldn't be a surprise. You got the Falcons at the Cardinals. Does that really matter? What do you think?
Nope.
Not really, right? I mean, the Falcons
unless they get a chance against Tampa Bay. Besides that,
yeah, Falcons and the Cardinals. The Cardinals are currently at 3-11. So let's say the Falcons win. Worst case scenario for us. Not that they're going to be able to climb in the playoff hunt too much. Texans win. Look at this. We got Aaron Rodgers going into Detroit to try to beat the Lions. That's going to be a fun one to root for, right?
I put it on the Steelers. I think Rodgers wants that playoff seat. Come on now.
There you go. We're going to go kind of like I said, kind of worst case scenario right now. So let's say the Lions win that ball game. All right. Let's say the Patriots going to take care of business against Baltimore. And let's say San Francisco wins. So worst case scenario for the Packers in this situation, right? You're going into Chicago. If you lose that game, the Packers are still the 7 seed. Is there anything I'm missing here, boys? Anything at all? Nope. Worst case scenario next week.
We're exactly where we are this week.
Yep. Again, but I feel like that's your second loss. Remember, I said you could lose 2 games down the stretch. You've already lost 1 to Denver. That's the second one. Now you might be able to get in with the 11 wins. We'll see. But I'm kind of banking on, all right, we can only lose 2 games, right? So with that being said, if the Packers win that ball game next week, you go from the 7 seed to the 2 seed, and all is right in the world again.
Yep.
And this Chicago game on Saturday night, my man.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna matter. This is what we look for every year. When you're in the offseason, you can't wait for NFL football to get here. This is what you're talking about. This is what you're talking about. On the road in Chicago, everybody going to be counting you out with all the injuries. No Micah Parsons. If there's no Christian Watson, if you're missing all these players, we are going to be the underdogs. No doubt about it. They will be the favorites. And Matt LaFleur got 6 days now to scheme something up to go in there and try to take care of business. What do y'all think about that scenario right there? The Packers
That's
going
everything. That's
It is.
everything. Win
Yep.
this ball game in Chicago. It's going to be freezing.
Yep.
Freezing freaking cold. Saturday night game, correct? This is
Oh,
the
yeah.
night. So prime time under the lights, Bears Packers.
Prime rate will be through the roof, Tim. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, you already know. This is hey, if you love football, this is what you live for right here.
Who wants it?
Packers Bears when it matters the most. You know, and yeah, throw the injuries out of the window. I mean, Chicago's dealing with some injuries too. Obviously not decimated to the level that we are when you count the sheer amount of star power that we have lost in the last few weeks. But hey, you just got to win a ball game. Okay, go down there and win 14-13, whatever. Do what you have to do. Get out of there with a dub. And like you said, Clay, all's right in the world, and we're back where we want to be in the driver's seat. You know, hopefully going in as a 2 seed, but you got to only worry about what's in front of you, and what's in front of you right now is the Chicago Bears, and that's it. That's all we need to think about.
Chi-Town B says it's not going to be freezing. It's going to be 40 degrees. I'm showing it's 26 for a low that night, bub. Check your local forecast, my man.
It'll be all right. It'll be all right.
Unbelievable. Man.
Different times of day when the sun's out and the moon's out there, Chi-Town best, but that's all right.
Yeah, it's all good. He probably goes to one of those stellar Chicago public schools, right?
We'll work on it.
Oh, Tim took a shot. Hey, I went to public school. I turned out okay.
You didn't go to school in Chicago, though.
That's a good point. You know what, though, Tim? Probably a little worse where I'm from. You know what I'm saying, man? It was we had good people, but let's just leave it at that. So
I'm with you, Donovan Schilling. I see you.
yeah, see that now I got to go back and read that for sure. So yeah, I see it now. All right. So with that being said, best case scenario after next week, worst case scenario, but we win the game, you're the 2 seed. That's not getting help for some of these other teams. Right? Let's see if anything changes, right? If let's say the Packers lose to the Bears and we're the 7 seed. And let's say the Rams beat the Seahawks. Let's see what changes here. Does anything change other than those 2 flipping? That's it, right? So that doesn't really matter. Are there any other NFC games here that I'm overlooking that might knock us out of the playoff hunt? I'm just trying to – yeah, there's nothing, right? Nothing. So, yeah, worst case scenario, we leave next week as the 7 seed.
Worst case scenario, yeah, we're right where we are right now.
Yeah. So we're kind of playing with the house's money next week, even with all these injuries, you know? So –
and again, even if something does happen, say we do lose to the Bears next week, how hard is it to beat a team? I mean, you go in there saying, all right, you're not going to beat a team 3 times in a row. If you want to beat them twice, when do you take that loss, in the playoffs or in the regular season? Right. So that's, I mean, you just got to get a ticket to the dance. That's it.
2-0 for this says, I love when Ryan rants about Chicago education.
That is great.
Always a hit for sure. So, all right. So that's just a quick little gander. Actually, you know what? We got
what you're going to say is everybody watching right now, the 2,000 that are in here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Appreciate everybody in here. Even the other teams fans, I don't mind you hitting sub and hanging around. We'll have you in here. You guys can come watch Chalk Talk, whatever you want to do. But go ahead and hit that like and sub, man. Appreciate everybody pushing us over that 7,000.
And I haven't been able to look at like all the comments, but if there's any Bronco fans in here tonight, I want to be very, very clear with what I got to say here. You guys deserve to win that ball game tonight. You were the better team. You guys have got a hell of a club. And I'm telling you, your team feels a lot to me like those 2010 Packers did. I'm just saying on the outside looking in. So congratulations on the win. Well-deserved win. It sucks that there's always that in the back of everybody's mind about what the injuries hadn't happened. If, it doesn't matter. You guys took care of business. So you got to tip your cap to you guys. And I think they do have a great fan base. I really do. All the fans that I know in the Denver Bronco fan base have been cool. You guys probably have blocked 75 and I haven't seen it tonight. But anyway, 2-0 for this says A-Fan probably mistakenly bought a DeAndre Swift jersey thinking it was Taylor. Unbelievable stuff I put up with on this show, man. So I want to do this. We got a couple minutes here. Let's fast forward. Let's say that all plays out. Worst case scenario, and the Packers do lose to the Bears next week, right? Week 17, if we fast forward ahead, we got the Ravens in week 17, and then in week 18, we've got the Vikings. The Vikings are playing better football now. Just seen a laser from J.J. McCarthy. All of a sudden, Nine's back. I don't know. But the point is we control our own destiny, guys, right? We control – I don't want to know, Emilio. Tim, we control our own destiny. Week 17, we got Baltimore at home. You win that ball game, and then you win on the road in Minnesota, and you make the playoffs, man. No doubt about it. That's without any help whatsoever down the stretch, right? You control your own destiny there. So pretty cool.
Yep. It's a good spot to be in, right? Just one week at a time. Get some dubs, man. Go into the playoffs on a high note. There's no reason we can't make a run with the talent that we still have left at our disposal right now. Yeah, we took some major hits today, but it ain't over till it's over.
Yeah. Greg Rice in the chat says mock draft pick only offensive line. We're doing a mock draft tonight, guys? We got time?
No, hang it up. End the stream before that, Clay. I don't want to get yelled at.
Yeah. It is funny how there's a portion of the fan base that they're somewhat joking, but I know if we did a mock draft right now, a large portion of people would hang around and watch us do a mock draft.
Oh, yeah.
There's a portion of the fan base that would also unfollow the channel if we did that. So we'll keep it clean here. But all right. Anything else y'all want to hit on before we wrap up, boys? You get the final word, not the final word, but I want to hear y'all's final thoughts before we wrap up. Emilio looks exhausted over there.
Move on from this game. Tough with the injuries, tough loss, AFC opponent. We need to win against the Bears and the Vikings. We're in the playoffs. We're cruising. I'll take our 2 losses against the Broncos and Ravens if we need to. And if we lose this game and we go out and beat the Bears next week, I'll be the happiest person ever. You know, you're struggling with the injuries, but you're going to have to move on from them at this point. We can't go back in time. We can't take it back. It's not like we can fix it.
Yeah. Tim, anything else, Bob?
Prayers up for our boys, man.
Mm-hmm.
We forget that they're human beings sometimes. We talk about them like they're little cartoons on a Madden game or something. They're not. These are real people dealing with real livelihoods. So hopefully Mike is all right. Hopefully Scoot's all right. Everybody else, and get in the cold plunge, get in the training room, and get your work in, and get ready for Chicago. All we got to do is focus on what's right in front of us. We'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's going to be fun to see how everything plays out. And now we get to learn a little bit more about this team and get to learn a little bit more about the backups and how they're going to rise to the occasion. And they're playing for their careers. They're playing for each other. I love that Gary kind of already took that leadership role. And, hey, he's let's go out there and do it for Micah. Top thing, right?
I would like to highlight the stupidest thing I saw in the comments all night. Dynasty sports picks. Don't take any sports picks advice from them. Parsons wasn't doing much this year anyways.
Right.
He
must have not gotten the updated roster on Madden, Tim. That's why he's all upset. He's still using the Dallas roster.
Goes on to say kind of overrated, honestly.
Oh, word?
Holy cow. You are incorrect, sir or ma'am.
Or no, never mind. Anything else, boys? Anything at all, man?
Get us out of here, Clay.
Hey, Coach said it's cracked, man. That's all.
Get us out of here.
Yeah, there you go. I guess we.
Everybody watching the 2000 of you on Twitter, go to YouTube and sub. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate that, man. Just hop over to YouTube. You're already on my feed here on Twitter. Just click on the profile, click on the YouTube link, hit sub, and if you're a Packer fan, just jump in the comments, say "Go Pack, Go." That's all we need. But I really do appreciate everybody, man. The fact that we got 2,200 people watching live after a tough loss, all these injuries. And I want to thank the chat for you guys keeping me upbeat tonight. Eric Sutherland, everybody cutting up, having a good time as best we can. And I think Tim put a perfect bow on it. Thoughts and prayers up to everybody that did come out of there with injuries. It was a hard-fought game. I don't feel like anything was necessarily dirty either. It was just one of those things, two teams throwing everything on the line tonight. And, boy, I thought they put on a hell of a show. So I think we all, both the Packers and the Broncos, did the NFL justice today. People were coming away from that game going, that was a fun one to watch. So that's it, guys. We're out of here. We'll be back tomorrow for PTA Live, most likely at 6 p.m. Central. If news breaks on any of the injuries and we get details throughout the day, I'll go live randomly, give you guys a short, quick stream. That way you stay up to date on all the information, give you our take, and so on and so forth. So, again, man, really, really appreciate everybody. Packer Doug, thanks, guys, and thanks for keeping the chat going during the game. You're very welcome, Doug. I'm glad that y'all enjoy that, man. He's talking about us getting the stream ready for the post-game show so everybody can kind of hang out and talk in there. And I appreciate y'all keeping it clean in there too, man, and taking care of one another. That's really what we're doing, is building a community here. And I think there's a lot of YouTubers that don't understand that. I think they just look at it like, how do I get my clicks? How do I be clickbaity? How do I, make my money? And I think that the cool thing about this channel is it's kind of driven by the fans. It's driven by the chat, as long as people are respectful. And it's a cool little community, man. I want to give a shout out to Jerry. Jerry, that's in the chat all the time. She's in our Patreon group. I won't get into details, but she just, she's an awesome person. And it's just so cool to meet people online like this. I guess it's okay. She's probably going to get mad at me, but she just offered like, hey, I'd like to send you and Mandy a little gift for Christmas. And I told her, please don't do that. That's not necessary. But it's just so cool, man. It's not like we're a bunch of weirdo people on Twitter, like what's the guy, Dynasty Sports Picks, who they never mention their name. You don't know who the hell they are, right? It's just people
we don't know what we're talking about, and that we're actually clueless.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
it does make sense, man.
Because probably the issue is probably because we're not journalists is probably probably the biggest thing that's holding us back. So I think that may be something we need to look into. But besides that, I mean, I love being a fan of the Packers.
Yeah, if you guys didn't catch that, we always enjoy when people go out of their way to say, I'm not a Packer fan, I'm a journalist. Okay. Marty, let me tell you, you sold a lot of people on your work. Okay. That did it. That sent them over the top. They said, oh, this is what I've been looking for.
Right.
Someone who is a journalist and they're not actually a Packer fan. So
come on,
tippy cap to them. They are very, very important with their little Prius things. So Rob will appreciate that one. So anyway, everybody have a wonderful evening. Not Rob Demoski either. People go, he's talking about Rob. No, I'm talking about a different Rob, and that was in a positive manner. But Rob, I actually like Rob. I like Rob Demoski. I like following him. He's straight to the point. He'll give you his honest opinion, I believe. That's hard to find these days. What are you laughing about, Emilio? What you got? That's not sarcasm. I'm being serious, man. I show Rob tweets on here.
No. I know. I'm 100%.
What's your problem, Emilio?
I was laughing at Too Old for this. He said, can't spell Dynasty Sports Picks without suck. And it just broke me up. It was something so simple, but it just got me.
So profound, right?
Yeah.
So profound. Bates in the chat says, thank you, guys. Sorry, not as active in the chat. Got caught up on the phone with Mama Dukes.
Smart man. We should be second fiddle, Bates. You got to make sure.
Got to make sure. Matter of fact, it's cold outside right now, and I might be sleeping in the front yard. You know what I mean?
Clay, you better go stoke that fire, man. I bet you that baby's getting a little low.
Bro, I got a load of hickory in. Man, that stuff burning hot down there today. Hickory and red oak. Lincoln looked at me like, bro, you gonna turn the AC on? What are you doing down here? It was warm. So, and by the way, Lincoln's chair is sitting empty over here. It's kind of sad, man. Kind of sad without my boy over here.
Look, there's Link. Oh no, that's Jacob. I'm sorry, I got that mixed up.
Well, you don't believe me. Here you go, man. Poor Link. He's downstairs. He's cut out. Look at the scratch marks on the door from that big basket.
So let me out of here, bro.
Mandy said, "Can we clean that?" No, or not clean it. She said, "Can we paint that?" I went, "Why? He's going to do it again." Yeah, that was actually the claw marks for me trying to get away from the TV watching these injuries happen.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, look at those hats over there too, Tim. Notice the Kentucky hats covered up. God love them. It is what it is. So, all right. Appreciate everybody. We will see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Smash that like button for us. Hit subscribe. Click the bell icon, all that good stuff. Tim, Emilio, appreciate y'all. Packers drop a tough one here. Where's the score? Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it. Ain't that what Bob Uecker said on Major League? So what was the score? 34-26. Felt worse than that with all these injuries. So,
Sure did. That's the real.
We'll see y'all tomorrow. We will be back. Right?
Absolutely.
Somebody will say that was a bad sign, won't they? That I put my arm in the air like that. That'll be unbelievable.
That's all right. Shake it off.
It'll have to be all right. So, by the way, did I tell you? Never mind. We're out here. See you.
Here we go. We're out.
Bye, guys.